Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel on this bonus Monday night stream. Why a bonus Monday night? Well, there's a couple of reasons for a bonus Monday night. There's 3 reasons for a bonus Monday night stream. Reason number 1 is I was going to talk about this topic on Friday, and then Models for Heroes announced the ambassadorship, and so I wanted to talk about that instead. Number 2 is because, and you should be able to see this in the pinned post already, the channel dice are back in stock. We have matte black, matte white, matte red, all back in stock on our merchandise page. I can't link the red ones right now because we've only just added the products to the website. However, there's only 10 packs of red ones left already. You guys have a fucking dice problem. And point number 3 is tomorrow is my youngest's 6th birthday. That's right, he was born on the 4th of July. That was his freedom day. And so we won't be doing a game stream tomorrow evening because it's his birthday. And I'd like to spend it with him instead since he's my child. It's his birthday. I'm sure that all makes sense to you people. So there won't be a game stream tomorrow. And so to make up for that, I thought I would chuck out a stream this evening for you beautiful people in the hope that it doesn't end up being a complete lost revenue week, because we also don't have a 40k After Dark on Friday because we're in Coventry, family, child, birthday, kind of all makes sense, right? I'm actually missing 2 streams tonight and the 2 streams this week, and I couldn't miss 2 streams. That's terrible for the channel and for the money. It's terrible. So that's why we have gone live this evening to talk to you beautiful people for about an hour and a half, and we're also going to talk about the tournament companion at some point as well. In the meantime, I'm going to say a massive shout out to Kit and Mark, who have both become brand new members this evening at Skulltier. Thank you so much for supporting us. You guys are incredible. It really does mean the world to us. Of course, there's many ways you can support the channel. You can hit that like button. That really helps us. You can subscribe if you haven't already. You can hit that bell notification icon. You don't need that notification icon if you are in fact a member in the Discord server, because the Discord will let you know every time we go live or drop a new video. And so there you go. There's ways you can support us. Of course, other ways you can support us, you can become a member all by your own. That'd be amazing. You can gift memberships. That's also amazing. And you can, and I've just realized I've not updated the membership tracker, and you can also super chat. You can send in big colorful postcards for us, and that would be supremely appreciated because it keeps the lights on. We're actually on a membership decline right now. We have less this point now than we had this time last month. And that's a slight problem for us. But we're not going to get too upset about it. We're going to keep plowing on. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep trying to grow. We're going to keep trying to get to a point where one day we might also have our own studio, much like the Titans. Maybe. One day. Perhaps. Right, July.
Happy birthday, young one.
Thank you so much, Alan, for the happy birthday, young one. Yes, please. Yes, I did do some of the kitchen. Listen to how surprised she is. She's so surprised because I happened to do some of the kitchen while she was out at she was out at the supermarket buying the little one his cake. So I was like, oh, I don't want to leave her to do all the kitchen all by herself. So I also did some of the kitchen work for her. So it's nice and tidy when she got, well, let's say nice and tidy. It's much tidier when she got home. And she's just coming all surprised at that, right? David McDowell, welcome to the channel as a yard. It's nice to see some new names as well, by the way, people. You're all amazing people. Everybody who hung out with us today on the Call of Duty channel, !gaming, if you're interested. It was also a celebration because that's finally now monetized. We were able to receive super chats and memberships on that channel as well. It's just turning into a good time chat. So it's time to drink, I think, this evening, since I'm not working tomorrow. So we've got some mead on the go. And if you're interested, if you care, it is a bit of the old Vikings blood, my favourite. I've got many of these, okay? Whose birthday is it? It's my youngest birthday tomorrow, Soups. Youngest birthday, which it's hard. It's actually really hard not doing a stream, although it's his birthday, because it's a lot of money lost, right? It's a few £100 lost by not doing a stream, but it's his 6th birthday, so, you know, priorities, etc. But thank you so much, Alan, for the donate. Thank you so much, David, Mark, and Kit, for becoming members. You people are all incredible people. Love you muchly. In the meantime, what I'll also do is if we look at the dice stock, now I've announced it to you people, we have 5 packs of red dice in stock. Okay, and we still do have, however, 41 packs of white and 34 packs of black dice in stock. Okay, so there is still stock of other dice. You can still buy dice from us. but watching the live view on this is incredibly satisfying, but also terrible for my OCD. But thank you, people. To let you know, until we sell something like, honestly, 75 to 80% of our dice, we don't actually make any profit because of the way tax and stuff works. So, you know. Anyway, Alan, thank you for the fight. Won't you be in bed at stream time? He won't be in bed at stream time, Carl, because family come over in the evening because they all work during the daytime. So on birthday evenings, the kids will stay up till sort of 9, 10 o'clock at night. So he absolutely won't be in bed, I'm afraid. Can you show what the dice look like? I mean, which ones do you want to know about, Ryan? If I pull up my store page here and we F11 it, whoop, and we go to screen share, here are the dice. So the white ones, you'll see those on stream all the time. We have our matte black dice, and we have our matte red dice. They're all currently in store, in stock, but there isn't many left. Okay, that's it. That's what we've got for you people. Some dice. And I'm going to try and be on top of it this time around. So when we run out of stock this time around, I'm going to try and reorder, but it's hard because ordering stock of this stuff costs a lot of money, and often we don't have a lot of, like, if all the profit that comes from this set of dice won't be enough to order all of the same colours all over again. Okay? You should buy them a knife-proof vest for your visit to Coventry. Thanks. Oh, she's going to read that out. I've just ruined that for you, Mandy. Good to see you there, Mandy. How you doing? Show red in the flesh. Okay. These.
You should buy him a knife-proof vest for your visit to Coventry.
They're very nice. These ones, these four particularly roll well as well. So every time I roll these four, I always get a 6. Yep, still happening. Still happening, chat. Actually still happening. I'm going to keep hold of these 4 specifically. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about tournaments in 10th edition, Games Workshop's guide. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, GW on Friday announced that they released their MetaWatch article, which I got 5 minutes into and fell asleep. And then they also, so I haven't actually watched that because it was fucking awful. I don't understand how... There's plenty of really charismatic, good presenters out there. Apparently they can't find them. But what they also did is they dropped their Tournament Companion, which is an interesting addition. If I hide my bookmarks bar, actually, this is probably easier. Hide bookmarks bar. Okay, it's much easier to do it this way, right? Then what I can do is I can bring that down. Talk amongst yourselves, chat, for a brief moment. Bring that up. Grab that one. Put that there. Cool, okay. Good. So, chat, what we're going to do... Weighted dice even. No, it's not element. It's not a tournament element. Great, been busy painting almost 3,000 points of Sisters and was on vacation. I will let you off, Mandy, if you had a vacation. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you had a wonderful time. You have been missed. We love you dearly. So we're going to screen share right now, okay? So nowadays, if you go to the Warhammer community homepage and you go to the download section, instead of just saying downloads and FAQs, it just has Warhammer 40k. It makes much more sense. It's much neater. It's much tidier. Click on Warhammer 40k and you are greeted with all of the downloads. The Munitorum Field Manual that's updated 16th to the 6th, the rules commentary, etc. And then all of the indexes and FAQs that have come out. This pissed me off. But all of the indexes and FAQs that have come out since the release of 10th edition all in one place. We then have the Imperial Armor data sheets for all of the Imperial Armor units. The Legends of the... I'm going to skip over that quickly. Combat Patrol for all of the combat patrols because all the rules are different because, you know, simplified, not simple. And we're going to scroll down to right at the bottom. We've got boarding actions. And then right down here, right at the very bottom, we've got the Leviathan Tournament Companion. Okay? So we're going to click download and then we are greeted with the Leviathan Tournament Companion right here. This is a guide for TOs. Now, I think a lot of people, what they actually expected was for GW to release different missions for competitive 40k. And they kind of have, but they actually haven't, but they sort of have. I know, confusing. We'll get into it. Love this stuff. Okay, so here's the companion app, right? These guidelines are here to support organisers of Warhammer 40,000 events and delivering a fine-tuned tournament experience using the Leviathan mission pack. So we're using the same mission pack. That product offers unprecedented scope for all kinds of match play, and its many variables create a dizzying array of potential missions, thousands in fact. Some of these are particularly well suited to the most hotly contested scenarios, and this pack provides suggestions for the best event configurations. We've also taken the opportunity to optimize certain core rule concepts for tournament play. So we have a core rule book It's been clarified by an 18-page rules commentary, and now we have additional notifications inside this particular document that tells us how to clarify or change them further. Not sure how I feel about that one. Okay, this document provides a ready-made framework for leveling the playing field and getting games underway quickly. Whether you're planning your first match play event or having years of experience organising the largest and most acclaimed tournaments, its recommendations will be followed in full at most Games Workshop match play events and are considered the official way to play Warhammer 40,000 in a tournament setting, but can be adapted to suit your own circumstances. The terrain layout advice is aimed primarily at newer organisers, for example, and those with large established terrain collections should feel free to interpret it accordingly. I was interested in this, right? We run GTs and RTTs at Factorum, so I was interested in how this would help me. So the recommendations are presented as follows, okay? We have the Leviathan Tournament mission sequence, the card updates, the tournament mission pool, terrain layouts, pairings, and rankings. Cool, good, I like it. There's some guidance in this that I think we haven't typically seen in previous editions of competitive packs, which I quite like. So the mission sequence. Players should use the mission sequence presented in the Leviathan mission pack, but replace steps 2, 4, and 5 with those shown below. Instead of shuffling and drawing from deployment mission rules and primary mission decks, players should use the pre-generated missions from the tournament mission pool, set aside the secondary missions and gambit decks as normal. Players now set up objective markers on the battlefield. Each deployment card's deployment map will show players how many objective markers to set up and where each should be placed. In Leviathan tournament missions, models can end any type of move on top of an objective marker. Different to the core rules. Already seeing that was a problem, they've now already changed this. Designers note, in the Warhammer 40,000 core rules, objective markers are physical artifacts that models cannot end a move on, representing vital data caches, Xenos relics, chaos portals, or anything else that suits your narrative. While this adds to the cinematic nature of the battlefield and offers exciting hobby opportunities, it can sometimes result in model positioning circumstances that not everyone will enjoy equally. As such, these guidelines recommend treating objective markers as flat circular markers 40mm in diameter that offer no impediment to the movement or placement of models. This is interesting. This is interesting because the spiel that I got from GW was the reason that objective markers were impassable was because if they were in fact able to be moved on top of, as this suggests, a person may be able to place something like a massive Land Raider or an Imperial Knight on top of that objective and make it near impossible for your opponent to get enough objective controlled models within range of it to take it from them. And they thought that was an undesirable circumstance. Surely that's mostly a problem in tournament play.
Happy birthday, little one.
Thank you, Sister Marcy. You're a legend. I love you. And I will wish him a happy birthday tomorrow as well. So surely the biggest issue for not being able to contest an objective is in tournament play. And yet in tournament play, they allow us to stand on objectives. I'm going to be frank with you people. Now this is out in the tournament mission pack. What we're going to play on the channel forever is that you can just stand on objectives because that's what sane people do. Okay, so we're going to ignore the core mission, the core rulebook stuff. We're going to ignore that immediately. Bad. It's bad, this, it's right. Create the battlefield. Step 5 is also replaced. What's happened to YouTube? YouTube Creator Studio just died on me, chat. So if you're still watching this, it just said I'm offline. If you're not still watching this, I don't really know what's going on right now. What the fuck? Are we still live? Are we still live, chat? Can you still see me? Can you still see me? I think it's good. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. I think we're okay. That was really weird. YouTube just said you're offline and then booted me straight out the stream and then put me in a random stream that I hadn't done for ages. That was very bizarre. We're okay though. We're good. Okay, we're back in. Now you can see the. Now you can see what most people normally see. There we go. We fixed it. We're back in. Everything should be okay. Everything okay? Good. Right. Perfect. Okay. So create the battle. That was weird. That was odd. I'm sure you guys will catch up in a minute and probably see. Did it even switch? It didn't switch. It's doing it again. What's going on? Why is it breaking, chat? Why is it breaking? Why is it breaking, chat? YouTube keeps kicking me out of my dashboard, so I can't see what any of you are saying right now, and it's just giving me a blank screen. So I can't see chat. You kind of have the ability to say whatever the hell you want right now. Right, good. Okay. Connect streaming software. I have my streaming software on. YouTube's trying to shit itself, and I don't understand why. Let's just do a little cheeky little speed test. Let's see if it's my interwebs, which it shouldn't be. But let's just run a cheeky little speed test to see what's going on. Because this is very bizarre. OBS is all good. Okay, my ping's good, chat. That's a good start. Because Monday. Yeah, it's Heresy Monday. No, it is Monday. That's what's going on. Reboot your PC. Unstable stream. But why is it unstable? Because the stream health is very good. Stream health, excellent. Stream is healthy. Okay. My upload is 784.68 megabits per second. Sorry, download that is. And my upload is 123.23 megabits per second. So it's not my internet. It's just YouTube having a funny 5 minutes. Okay. Let's try again. Let's go back into screen share. See if it.
Fine on our end. Let's see if this part works at least.
Okay. Grain Train GT. Time to riot in the chat. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you, Mandy, for the 10. You're a hero. Love you. I didn't actually properly shout out, by the way. A big shout out to the person who gifted, Alan, who gifted 5 gifted memberships, and Liberty Fires who gifted 1. Thank you, you beautiful people, for gifting memberships. You're amazing. I'll update the membership tracker in just a second. Create the battlefield. Every time I say this sentence, it shits itself on me. Maybe it just doesn't like what I'm saying. Stream's wonky. Is it? Is it? It's all a porn to download. Anyone's getting frozen screen for a couple of seconds or two? Disagree strongly with the stream is healthy messages. It's looking, I mean, stream is healthy. Stream is healthy. Everything looks like it's settled now, chat. Okay, so tell me, right? Okay, beautiful. Create the battlefield. Players now create the battlefield and set up terrain features. Missions are played on rectangular battlefields whose dimensions are approximately 44 by 60 inches. When setting up terrain features, use the guidelines detailed in the terrain layout section of this pack. Players must use the rules for terrain features detailed in the core rules, while other approaches to terrain layout may work within the collections of experienced organisers. We recommend these terrain guidelines when otherwise in doubt. Okay. During the select secondary mission step, if a player decides to use the tactical missions, note that 2 secondary missions cards they place face down and they reveal to their opponent should be returned to their secondary mission deck before they reshuffle it. They are not placed to one side or discarded. Before drawing cards in a tournament play, it is always good practice to offer your opponent the opportunity to cut your deck. Cool, okay. Leviathan card updates. When using the Leviathan mission pack, use the updated cards presented on this page in place of their printed equivalents. So you know those lovely mission pack decks that you've got? Well, if you're going to a tournament and you're using these particular cards, guess what? They're already wrong. Note that both the attacker and defender should use the text presented on the attacker cards shown below. Updated text is shown in red. Already, basically... This is a disguise for, these didn't work as well as we thought they would because we haven't really playtested it properly. So here's some changes we're going to give you in order to make these usable in the future. I'm actually not a massive fan of that. Like, just get it right first. But hey, there's some changes. To deploy servo skulls. Okay, this is Sabutio, essentially, right? This is kicking objective markers into your opponent's deployment zone and gaining points for it. The objective markers start the battle in no man's land are servo skulls. At the end of each turn, each of these objective markers can be moved up to 6 inches in any direction by the player that controls it. When moving objective markers, they cannot end that move on top of any other objective marker or model or inside impassable parts of terrain features such as the walls of a ruin. At the end of each turn, the player whose turn it is scores VP as follows. 2 victory points for each servo skull that's wholly within 12 inches of their opponent's deployment zone. 5 for each that's wholly within 6 of their opponent's deployment zone. 8 victory points for each servo skull that's wholly within their opponent's deployment zone, which previously, as written, without this little red addendum right here, is essentially cumulative and allows you to score a ton of points if you're slightly better at Sabutio. However, in red, note that these conditions are not cumulative. If more than one applies, a player whose turn it is scores the applicable condition that carries the highest victory point reward. I will explain. If an objective without this red addendum is wholly within their opponent's deployment zone, they would originally currently get a whole 15 points because all 3 of these conditions are true, and that's a bit mad if one objective is wholly within their opponent's deployment zone. Okay. Secondary mission deploy teleport homer. Apparently there's a red thing in here. I can't actually see the red. But in your shooting phase, you can select one unit from the army that is not battle shocked as eligible. Oh, okay, you can do an action, right? At the end of your turn, if that unit is wholly within your opponent's deployment zone or within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield, it deploys a teleport homer to that location. The secondary mission is achieved and you score a number of victory points depending on where the teleport homer was placed as followed. Center is 3, opponent's deployment is 4 if you're using fixed missions, or 5 if you're using tactical missions. Not entirely sure what the changes here. But this one is an obvious change. It goes up if you're using tactical missions or 5 victory points instead. So there we go. Okay, you get more points for using tactical with behind enemy lines. Now, Leviathan mission pool. So what this is they've put together, using the cards in the Leviathan mission deck, apart from a change to deploy service goals, they've put together a set of missions with a primary mission rule, a deployment layout, and suggested terrain layouts.
The only two bloody things I wanted from the Leviathan box was the rulebook and the mission cards. Super happy I purchased something that's now out of date. GW strikes again. Worst.release.ever.
I really don't want to agree with you, James, but I do. First bullet point was red victory points, was it? Is it? Oh, okay, I see there. Jesus Christ, that was hard to see on this screen. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Demogorgon, for that. James, I don't want to agree with you, but I do kind of agree with you. Right, let's go back to viewer. So stream's now stabilized. I believe stream is now stabilized, okay? Although I haven't got my viewer activity thing here, so I can't see. Okay, well, it's fine. We'll make it work. Okay, so Leviathan Tournament Mission Pool, what they've done is they've taken a mission rule that they think fits with the primary mission, and they've placed it on a deployment map that they think fits as well, and they've suggested a terrain layout for this combination. There's a couple of things here, chat, right? First of all, how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 missions that they've suggested for us. Cool. Okay, I'm a fan of that, right? That's not a problem. We then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 15. 9 of the 15 have Chilling Rain, and if you don't know what Chilling Rain is as a mission rule, that means no additional mission rules. Okay, and then we have Chosen Battlefield once, Chosen Battlefield twice, Hidden Supplies once, twice, 3 times, and Scrambler Fields once. That's it. Search and Destroy, Sweeping Engagement, Search and Destroy, Sweeping Engagement, Search and Destroy, Hammer and Anvil, Crucible, Dawn of War, Crucible of Battle. I think that's all of the deployment maps, so I think they're all kind of covered in there somewhere. It's not the worst. I like the fact that they've actually taken the time to put a primary and a secondary together for us, and then suggest a proper deployment map to make it the best possible for a competitive experience. I'm a fan of that. I like that. I think that's a good thing to do. But Chilling Rain on 9 out of 15, and then only 3 other ones for the one. Hang on, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, only 3 other secondary missions. We have a whole deck of secondary missions, and we've got 3 of them that are actually in play. Otherwise, just Chilling Rain. I feel like that's a bit sad, if I'm honest with you. I'm aware that I'm not strictly a tournament player or a massively competitive player, but I am a bit sad that we only have 3 of the mission rules, because I actually quite like the mission rules. I feel like that's kind of cool. I just feel that's a bit depressing, that there's a lot of variety there that's just been taken out again because tournament players ruin 40k. Terrain layouts. So, okay, the following battlefield recommendations are intended primarily for newer organisers, okay, is what they're saying. So you can do whatever you want. You don't have to use these, but this is suggested for newer tournament organisers. Precisely locked terrain layouts without fixed measurements are not recommended, as well as limiting the variety of terrain organisers may feel permitted to field. Such strictures can encourage army construction that plans for guaranteed measurements for the purposes of line of sight, objective control, and so on. Furthermore, it can create problematic mid-game situations should players notice their terrain does not meet prescribed limits. Blah, 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 blah. They're saying, hey, loosely lay it out like this, and that's about right. It doesn't have to be specifically 8 inches from the edge of the battlefield. It doesn't have to be specifically... I mean, it kind of does. It actually kind of does need to be specific, and I'll explain why. If you have a loose terrain layout without prescribed measurements on specific terrain layouts as a tournament organizer, you could end up in a situation where you've got 20 tables, they're all slightly different, and therefore people aren't playing the same mission strictly because the terrain layout is slightly different. Therefore, people could become aggrieved if their terrain layout is slightly different to their neighbour's terrain layout, and they feel like that then hinders them. So what we do when we run Factorum GTs is we actually have prescribed tournament layouts, and we don't tell the players the measurements that we use. We don't show that to them at all. We don't put that in the player pack. We give them loose layouts for terrain, but we don't tell them the prescribed measurements, okay? And then the TOs, in between each round, will go out and measure out the terrain and lay it all out, right? I feel like this is a mistake. Okay, objective markers can and sometimes will be hidden within terrain or placed in the open, but the markers themselves should never intersect a wall or similar element. They use ruins, and then they go in. And this is good of them to do this. But they show terrain layouts now. I mean, these are the sort of things also that would make Joe incredibly sad, because he just wouldn't like these kinds of terrain layouts. But they give us terrain layout 1, terrain layout 2, terrain layout 3, terrain layout 4. Yeah, we've got 4 different terrain layouts, okay? And, you know, I don't I don't hate tournaments. I actually quite like tournaments. But honestly, how depressing is some of this stuff? Right, pairings and rankings. This is also guidance that I don't think we actually ever had before, which is interesting. There are countless different ways in which a Warhammer organised play can be run, with broad stroke concepts like pairing off players with the same record or straightforward enough. The nuance of running a successful Warhammer tournament is a subject of continuous conversation and evolution. The following recommendations are once again for newer organisers. These principles are also followed at most official GW events and are designed to create the fairest, most fun experience possible for every attendee, regardless of standing. Pairing players. First, second, and third. First by record, i.e. number of wins. Second by win path, i.e. the timing of the rounds in which a player won or lost their games. And third, randomly within players of the same ranking. And the ranking of players first by overall record. Second by their opponent's win records. And third by total victory points. This is interesting. This was how I used to run my GTs, and everybody complained about it. Everybody complained about it. They all told me that victory points should sit above opponent win record. What that is you're saying, how many wins has you got? That's the first one. And if we have 2 players with 5 wins, we then go into who had the hardest time at the tournament and therefore arguably played better. So I've got 5 wins and Joe's got 5 wins. But I played nothing but noobs and Joe took on the Art of War team. Guess what? He's probably going to have a higher opponent win record, because I can assume that most of his opponents went on to beat all the rest of their opponents. And therefore, that places him above me because he had a harder time playing the game at that event than I did. And then if we are in fact tied, because both of our opponents did equally as well, then we look at victory points to see who got the most victory points against what was essentially equal opponents. Okay, this is interesting. It's just the way I used to do it. I got told I was wrong. I like the fact that it's now been vindicated. Hey, we're good. Win path, rules commentary, blah, right? End of document, a bit of spiel about having fun and enjoying yourself, okay? And I actually, here's, do you know what, right? Do you know what? This is the best part of the whole fucking document. Warhammer is more popular than ever, and this popularity has extended to the tournament scene. Over the last few years, more than 1 million games of Warhammer 40,000 were played in tournaments around the world. And that growth will only continue in the future, they hope. With so many Warhammer hobbyists participating in the game within growing communities, it's important to ruminate on the point of a tournament. First and foremost, it is not about celebrating the ultimate victor. Someone who goes undefeated and wins best general needs very little acclaim beyond the outcome itself. After all, they won. Instead, it is the experience of every single attendee that truly matters, and the recognition that for the most people who attend tournaments, community and friendship are both the purpose and the outcome. My fucking god, that is perfectly put. This is the best part they've written in the whole of 10th edition so far. Before you roll a single dice against an opponent to start your tournament experience, remember 2 things. The person across the table from you shares your love of Warhammer. By the time the dust settles on the event, almost everyone will have lost a game. Typically, at most, only 1 or 2 people will manage to leave the event without a loss. While any game often yields winners and losers on the tabletop, the magic of Warhammer in an event setting is the opportunity it provides every participant to become a bigger part of the Warhammer community and to build friendship with fellow hobbyists that can last a lifetime. As an organizer or a player, if you focus on this inalienable truth, then while most of you will have lost a game or 2, you'll all share victory in your experience of what it is to attend a Warhammer event. That's something I want to put up on the fucking wall of a gaming hall. This is the best piece of text. This is the best piece of text they've written across everything they've released in 10th edition. By far the best piece of text they've written across the whole of 10th edition. What this essentially says is, look fuckers, we're all here to have fun, and we're all here because we love Warhammer, so don't be a dick. That's what this says. This is the best bit they've written so far. So that team is the tournament companion. Now, I think some people were surprised, if I'm honest with you. I think some people kind of expected for GW to release different missions. honestly, I don't think people expected them to just take the cards that already exist and shuffle them into their own version of missions. I'm glad they did that. I know that there is a change, and the change annoys me slightly. They've already invalidated the data cards. They've already invalidated their rule book. So it does slightly irk me that they've done that. It does slightly irk me that they have, in fact, changed cards that people have purchased and changed the rulebook that people have purchased. I am, however, grateful that they are in fact using the mission deck from the rulebook and that they haven't just completely made new missions. Because I feel like if what they had done is completely made new missions without using the Leviathan mission pack, then they would have basically completely invalidated that. Because let's be honest, most people will play the way that tournament games play when they're even doing pickup games. Okay, now I feel like now, because they're just using missions from the tournament deck, it's still a viable option to turn up to a local gaming store or turn up to a local club for a pickup game and still randomly draw cards. I feel like it's still viable now because of what they've done with this mission pack. So that's a positive. I feel like it's a good idea that they've suggested how much terrain goes on the table, and hopefully they stick to that themselves, because they've showcased what I think looks like more terrain than typically they've applied in the past. I think that's also a positive. And that aside, we've not really changed much, have we? Let's be honest. It's a case of pick a fixed mission, pick a fixed terrain pack. We've shown you what these two look like. Oh, by the way, you can stand on objectives. I think people were actually expecting a much bigger change, and we haven't seen that. And I'm actually kind of pro this. So let me know what you think anyway, chat. I think this is an interesting document. I don't like the fact that they've changed the way objectives work in the tournament pack. But I do like the fact that it's just kind of a guidance document rather than a, hey, here's a whole different way of playing. I'm quite interested to hear what you guys think on the whole. Were you expecting something different? Were you expecting the old chapter approved style with extra missions in and extra secondaries, all that kind of stuff? Were you expecting to use the Tempest deck? Not the Tempest deck, the Leviathan deck. Are you happy that they've used the Leviathan deck? I'm interested to know what you think, chat. Please let me know. Thank you so much to everybody so far who super chatted, gifted a membership, etc. We're going to jump into chat right now. Thank you, Easton, for the 5. Liam, have you by chance watched the whale documentary under Discord Strike Memes Gallery? Attenborough level of quality achieved there, am I right? That, I think, way of saying my name, Easton, is going to haunt me for the near future. Danny, thank you for the 5. The WTC terrain guide is the best I've found. My 40k games went from horrible and unfun to great as soon as my group changed using WTC terrain maps. Okay, Danny, are the GW ones in that pack similar to WTC? Do they kind of resonate, or are they different? Okay. The tournaments often enforce Wysiwyg. Yes, to a point, Brennan. It depends on what you're asking about. So if you are, if you're talking about kit bashes and conversions, or counts as, so for example, Joe has Blade Guard for his Flesh Terrors that have 2 swords and don't have a shield, but they're very clearly Blade Guard. The models are still Blade Guard, and despite not having the shield, I don't think anyone's going to have a real problem with that. At the moment, if it was Factorum event, okay, and you turned up and said, hey, look, 10th has just launched, it's wildly changed, so I have got slightly different loadouts to what you can see, but it was clear as to which model had what to your opponent, you know? So, hey, every guy holding a heavy bolt is actually a last cannon. I think I'd give you a pass early on in the edition, if I'm honest. However, I'd probably want to see replacing those models in the future. Only because the editions changed, the points have changed, the loadouts have changed. If, however, you had 10 tactical marines, for example, all with bolt guns, and you went, oh, one's got a las cannon, one's got a plasma gun, but like, no, that's not okay, because it's not clear to me which one's which, and therefore it's not clear to your opponent which one's which. The biggest piece of advice I can offer you, just email the TO before you buy a ticket. Normally very, very easy to find your TO. Just get hold of them. Get hold of them, get them a ticket. Not get them a ticket, get hold of them before you get your ticket, get them to answer your questions, get photos. You know, we've all got camera phones. Take a photo of whatever it is that you want and then send it in. Okay, so you know what the hell. So the last thing you want to do, and I've seen this happen, unfortunately, is you don't want to turn up to an event, an opponent complain about you, and a TO tell you can't use some of the stuff you've brought with you, because that's a feels bad moment. So just double check before you go. Okay, cool. Right. Anyway, Brennan, thank you then so much for the 5 gifted as well. You're an absolute legend of the chat. A legend of the chat. And hey, Meg, Hey, Meg, you're a hero too. Okay, we need to do something quickly, chat, right? I don't know if you guys are actually going to be able to help me do this. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Who knows? Let's have a quick look. Let's see where we're at. We have currently in our audience 366 people watching right now. I need 112 volunteers. It's a lot of people, right? A lot of people. Raise your hand up if you're interested in being one of those volunteers. Okay? Right now. Put your hand up. I need 112 people. Okay? And I'll explain why, right? So, what happened on Friday was something incredible. So our gaming channel, !gaming in chat if you're interested, finally hit 1,000 subscribers and also already had the 4,000 watch hours required to be able to monetize it. So I don't know if you guys know, but when you run a YouTube channel, you can't just turn on adverts, you can't just turn on super chats, you can't just turn on gifted memberships. You have to hit the required goals for YouTube. Now that is currently 4,000 public watched hours within a 6-month period, might be 12-month period.
All my chimeras have storm bolters, but with all the weapon options now being free, heavy stubbers are literally just better with longer range and more shots. I don't want to remodel my tanks. Hoping something changes.
In that particular circumstance, Brennan, because of what it is and everything swapping from a storm bolter to a heavy stubber, I wouldn't have a problem with that personally. But again, you know, email the TA. Okay, so where I was like, okay, you need 4,000 public watch hours in a period. It might be 12 months, and then you need 1,000 subscribers. Then you can apply to YouTube to be a partner and part of the partner program. And if they approve you, then you can turn on monetization. You guys are seeing super chats like from the amazing Brennan. Thank you so much for the 20. You're a hero. And you're seeing memberships and gifted memberships. Only 13 new members tonight. It's quite low. And I say it's quite low because actually these things are incredibly important to us. Like, if I have a bad month, I'm in panic mode that I might have to go and get a real job, okay? But we have to hit these targets first, and it's a ton of work. So I need you to help me, okay? And what I'm going to say to you right now is I need you to, all of you that put your hand up and said this, okay? You need to do this. You need to go to this page right now. I'm going to pin it. Replace pin message. That's right. I'm replacing my own merchandise with this. You need to go there now. You need to click the subscribe button, all 112 of you that put your hand up, okay? So we can get this channel to 1,000 subs, and you all need to go into the latest video and put a comment. That's it. That's all I need you to do. Free for you. Cost you nothing. Okay? Cost you nothing at all. And then if you're feeling really good about yourself, come back here, gift a single membership. If all 354 people gift a membership, I stop panicking about not doing a stream on Tuesday and not doing a stream on Friday. Okay? But only if you all gift one membership. Right? And there's loads of grey names in chat as well. So we need you people to get memberships so you can come and join in on the Discord server and on the members streams. Okay, at 888 subs at the point which I posted that. Let's have a look and see if we've got 907 already. Good. Okay, already subbed. Don't worry. Well, I'm sorry, people, but I'm hoping of the 354 there was enough of you to push them over the 1,000 subscriber line. 920. We're climbing. Good. Okay, I'm still watching this live. All right, we're up at 920.
Happy birthday tomorrow, Mini Dempsey. Just so happens to be my birthday today. Hobby Collab did a great job of wishing me a happy birthday but didn't sing me a song.
It didn't sing you a song. I mean, I hope you're not expecting me to sing you a song, Mr. The Soups. But happy your birthday today. We need to sing happy birthday to Soups, chat. Luce, I need you. I need you, Soup. I need you, Luce. It's Soups' birthday today, and I can't sing happy birthday on my own. You just flat said no, Soups. Just a no. Like wasn't even a thought. Just a no. You're not gonna plug your microphone in and sing happy birthday with me?
No, I'm busy.
Oh, okay. Well,
Have his own mum to sing to him.
right, chat. Come on, we need to sing happy birthday. We have to go happy birthday to Soups. Don't clip this, chat. I'll fucking hate you forever. Happy birthday to Soups. Happy birthday, sexy Soups. Oh, that was good, that. You like that? Happy birthday to Soups. And that's why I'll stay the favourite forever, right? Yeah? Is that correct? Right, where are we at? We were at 925 when I last looked. 933. Meg, I don't think I'm going to get you to 1,000. I'm trying, Meg. I don't think we're going to get you to 1,000 people. Okay, right. Was that a good song? Was that a good song? Did you like that? Was that okay? coldly, says Weeman. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And 1,000 people clip it. Unbelievable. Right, okay. But thank you for the 10 soups. You're a hero. Aaron, thank you for the 5 gifted. You're a legend. Liberty Fires with the 50. What are you doing, you crazy bastard? Thank you so much, though. What a hero. Mr. Sven Holier, thank you for the 1. Sam Lloyd, thank you for the 1. Crisis, thank you for the 1. Paul Fisher, thank you. See, most people, Liberty, listened to what I said and just did the 1. You may have slipped there, okay? But thank you so much for the 50. So I now need to add all of these. 54, 9. 55. Okay, I need to add that to my total. Where's my total gone? End. There we go. Beautiful. Thank you, you wonderful, wonderful people. These membership goals. I know it looks like a vanity metric. I know it looks like I'm doing it just to try and push you people to spend more money, but this is important. I've told you this story before, right? The first 2 weeks of the month are always horrific because I have no idea if we're going to make enough money to pay the bills next month, and then I settle down and I have more fun. Okay, Hobby Collab's at 934 subs, okay? Can all of you go and text the person who likes 40k hobby streams and go and get them to click subscribe as well? I'd like to hit 1,000 for them in the stream. No, no, Meg, you don't gift now. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Okay. Here's what we'll do, chat. Let's have a look at the merchandise page quickly, right? Let's have a look at the products in inventory. Okay. Okay. Liz, we sold out a red dice. Yeah, okay. So the red dice are sold out, right? But I thought this through, so I have some already here, chat, okay? So if we get this channel to 1,000 subs in a night, I'll give away 1 pack of 20 red dice that are now already out of stock to a member in chat tonight at the end of the stream. That's my commitment. These are now rare, right? You can't buy these now. They're out of stock. Give 20 away, all right? Thank you so much, the Hobby Collab, for 5 gifted. Thank you so much, Tim, for the 1. Thank you, Alex, for the 1. That's 7 more, you beautiful people. That's right, loads of singing tonight now. That's what we're doing. Soup started it, blame him. Anyway, this isn't the point, right? This is something we're doing in the background. I still want to know what you guys think of the tournament mission pack. I saw a couple of people say they really liked it. So, 1,000 a night, you're mental. No, not in a night, Iniquity. I mean, that'd be good though, wouldn't it? McCardle just sub with his 1,000,000 accounts. I think he just keeps changing the name of each one. John, thank you for the 1. Wee Man, thank you for the 1. You're amazing. You're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing. You're all amazing people. We love you dearly. Okay, Meg, we're at 940. We might we might struggle to get above 940 for you. And what we're going to do in the meantime.
Happy birthday, Soups. That was beautiful, Liam. I'll keep the clip for the best moment to embarrass you in the future.
I struggle to be embarrassed, Alex, to be fair. So you go for it, mate. I'll sing to you in public in front of people. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, my friend. We're at 940, people. But here, this is the number that we need 60 more subs, okay? I was going to ask you to do a custom one to avoid copyright, but that was lovely. Thanks. Also, thanks for shouting out Hobby. That's fine. We're all a family. Okay, we said this before. We're all a family. I saw a clip on the Hobby Collab Discord today about Meg being lovely about me, so you know I'll be nice back. Alex, thank you for the 5 gifted. I'm struggling to keep up with you all now. Oh. There we go. We're in. We're good. Okay, beautiful. Hobby Collab is the one that Zach from Titans went for. Yes, it is. 100% a Thrain, it is. I said that right, didn't I? Did I say that right? I think I said that right. Refresh. 944. Oh. Liam has Feel No Shame 2+. 100%. It looks like it made it to 1.04k when I head over there. Really? No, 944. It says it here, look. It says it here. 944. Yeah, cool. Okay, we're good. I was right. It is 944 right now. Okay. We're doing it. On a ranked by win path approach, Liam, in a 100-person GT, there are a lot of people that will go, for example, 3 for 2. Is it unfair that your opponent's path is outside your control, but points are in your control? That's a really tough one to answer. So in terms of fairness as to what's in and out of your control, I agree with you. Absolutely, I agree with you. However, that being said, if I had 4 horrendously difficult games and I managed to win 2 and lose 2, and my opponent had or 5, sorry, win 3 and lose 2. And my opponent had 5 relatively easy, relaxing games for whatever reason. He won 3 and lost 2, and he came above me because he scored more points because he faced easier opponents. I'd also feel aggrieved. Okay, you see what I'm saying?
I like the tournament pack to provide guidelines on terrain, which I've always struggled with. Also, thanks for the red dice. You can give me a love note when it ships.
Can I? Okay, I'll make sure. I'll make sure Luce looks out for that one, so that I can write you a little love note. I'll sing into the envelope. Liberty Fires, right? If I sing into the envelope, when you open it, it should sing at you. Does that work? Does that work? I feel like that would work. Okay. So yeah, I do get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. It's out of your control. I get it. And that was the argument I had from lots of people when I used to have what they have essentially recommended as my setup. Okay. And so I do understand their point of view. I do get it. But pairings are random to a point, especially the first set, and that's out of a player's control as well. And people kind of are okay with that one. I think the thing that I would points are kind of in your control. However, I still think that points are in everybody's control to a point. But if you have a harder time playing opponents, I feel like you perhaps should place higher than a person who had an easier time playing opponents, despite the fact that neither of those things are in their control. I don't know if I'm making much sense here. We're refreshing again. 954, 46 away. 46 away. I don't feel Games Workshop need to put the work into tournament play, as there is already a worldwide community dedicated through ITC. We prefer if they put the effort into casual play for the smaller groups. That's not a bad shout, Lawrence, actually. I don't think I completely disagree with you on that one. I think that the last edition, one of its problems was it heavily focused on competitive play, if I'm honest with you. And I think it focused on that more than it focused on the everyman, the standard gamer, the casual gamer. I feel like that was left a bit of a sour taste in some people's mouths, if I'm honest with you. So I get it. I think there is a bonus to focusing to a point on competitive play in terms of things like balance, etc. What I'm really happy with is they haven't just got their whole separate pack. They've just used, hey, this is still the way we play 40k. And what we're doing now is we are limiting it down to these cards in these kind of layouts, etc. So, I'll go have one last look. 956. Go back to my pretty face. You missed my beautiful singing. What do you mean no you didn't? Did you hear it? You're not impressed by it? You're gonna have to spend Ben's birthday sending dice out. What do you mean no you're not? We've sold all the red ones now. Okay. We've sold half of the black ones as well. No one wants the white ones that we show on stream. Are you plugging yourself in? Lucy's coming, chat. She's coming to sing to you, Soups. She's coming to sing to you, Soups. She's making the commitment. The Evan, I feel like it's an illusion that victory points is in your control. I'd say victory points scored is at least as dependent on your opponent as yourself. That's not a bad shout either, to be fair. In seriousness, I don't actually think you're that wrong on that one. Because it is, in fact, in your opponent, or part interaction for your opponent to stop you from scoring certain victory points as well. Are you moving that mic? Or are you leaving it exactly where it is? Okay. Then your voice is live. Take it away.
No.
Soup, she doesn't love you like I love you. No. Fraser, thank you for the gifted membership. You're a hero of the chat. What a bunch of legends you are. 80 of this. Oh, hang on. I've just knocked my dice over. Right. Totally fair. Yeah, it is. I played my first game yesterday. Opponent played Tyranids with 7 characters. Max assassinate easy. 100% opponent can determine points. Yeah, they can. Absolutely. Alan's just shouted your name.
Me?
Is there a link for these dice? Yeah, there is. There's a link for black and white ones now. Which one shall I pin in chat? Shall I pin white ones in chat or shall I pin black ones in chat?
Black.
Black. Okay, so we'll remove that pin. We'll bring this one across here. We'll pin that one. We have pinned black dice. I think they should be in chat now. Soup says it's okay, Luce. You don't have to sing to me. I know you don't love me. No response, Soups, at all. Complete silence. They're all saying, hey, Luce, though. Hey, Luce, hey, Luce, hey, Luce. I organised my dice yesterday and realised I have 120 fancy dice between faction dice and 2 sets of Titan dice.
Oh my God.
Titan
120.
dice are almost as nice as ours. Not quite, but almost. Did my tournament game today and got tabled in 2 turns. Got to 11 Pyrrhonites and I was playing World Eaters. Oh, mate, don't. Lehman. World Eaters into Knights is pain right now. It's just flat pain. It's horrible. I hate it. And I love my World Eaters, but it's pain. Did you see that Polychrome won our giveaway after saying he would strip the models? Amazing. I got in trouble with drop pods. Can my blade guard charge after they drop down with the pod? Reserve rules say yes. Disembark rules say no. Ooh. I don't know the answer to that one. That's hard because they're actually a transport strictly, aren't they? I would say yes.
Dice noises.
How many? Why have you put your microphone on to make dice noises?
Because. Do you want me to unplug them?
No, it's okay. I can mute you once you get them out of the packet. That's the sound of all of your red dice being packed up. The fact that we've sold them all already is. Have you messaged Stevie yet?
No, not yet.
He gets very excited when he sold all of his dice straight away. Yeah. So Stevie, I keep saying Stevie, you people don't know who I'm talking about. Stevie is a guy who owns and runs a company in the US called Baron of Dice. He has his own website, Baron of Dice. Check him out. He makes all of our dice because he's amazing. So despite the fact that we would get them significantly cheaper if we got them made in China and shipped out, we probably would get them in fancy packs and stuff like that. I like the fact that we're talking to a human in America who has a family and we're helping to support his business. So although it means we don't get as much of a markup and we perhaps can't drop the price for you guys, we are supporting an independent business in the US by using Stevie from Baron of Dice. And it's not just our dice that he makes. He's made dice for Play on Tabletop in the past as well. He's made dice for a number of other channels. And he's also got a whole website full of really cool custom dice that have got different faction logos on them and stuff like that. Oh, okay. That's a really annoying noise. Allowance on arriving from reserve is just for stuff like deep strike, walking on, etc., and doesn't take transports into account. No, it doesn't, because their rules are terrible. My transport, the Mighty Devilfish say no charging after advancing. Usually transports have their own special rules. It's hard, actually. It's hard, unless it's a vehicle with a rule that lets you, like a Land Raider, for example, says Soups. I had a closer look at this. No, can't charge after disembark. It seems like it doesn't make sense, though, that you can't disembark after drop podding in. So it doesn't... Take a drop pod, get out, stand there 9 inches away. I think that sounds a bit shit, doesn't it? Maybe, possibly, probably. But that doesn't really work. Merch link. Oh my god. Okay, right. Hang on. Let me go to my store. What do I do without you? I need to go to my store. Because people clearly haven't got the link linked properly. Let's have a quick look at the Hobby Collab channel first. Let's see where we're at on that one. Chat. See if you've done it. 957. I tried, Meg. I tried. Boop. Here's the store. Okay. I'm going to pin this message now. There we go. Replace pin message. There's the store. I've got 50 of Necron dice. Thanks for waiting them for me. That's how it works in Heresy. Is it? You can't charge after disembarking from a transport in Heresy, from a drop pod in Heresy. Drop pod, you get out, you shoot them to death, right? You can disembark, but you can't charge after disembark from drop pod. That seems mad. I feel like that isn't a problem, though. Like, you're 9 inches away once you've disembarked, so why is it an issue? You could rapid ingrace the drop pod and then charge in your following turn. You could, but you do give them a whole turn of shooting at you before you can do anything, which is interesting, right? Hey man, that was an awesome surprise. We've only got you 957. I'm sad. I wanted to get you to 1,000. Hobby collab. That's what I wanted to do. I mean, I gained you like 60. Okay, so I've tried. All right. My chat's amazing. I tried. You owe me now, Meg, though. Drop pod arrives via deep strike and counts as moving. Unit disembarks from drop pod. A vehicle after it has moved. Units arriving from reserve counts having moved, so cannot charge. Hey, rules as written. I don't disagree with you, Huzzah. You stand there like a lemming, probably take a bunch of intercept reactions too. Yeah, absolutely. New Stern God belong in that drop pod. New Stern God. So, chat, right? The other day, I was so close to starting my own Space Marine chapter of some sort, just because new Stern Guard, new Terminators, new Captain, new Librarian are so beautiful. And I stopped. And I stopped myself. Bellymore, thank you for the 10 gifted. I love seeing the new people come in and gift as well. It's amazing seeing new people come in and gift. And I'm very grateful. Thank you for the 10 gifted. You're an absolute hero. I love you. I love you all. I love all you gifters, especially Liberty Fires. You're amazing people. Thank you so much. I now have to update my little cheeky tracker. Cheeky tracker! Because I have to do this. How has YouTube not worked out how to automate gifted updates as well on the members tracker now? How's that happened? Okay, how's that work? Bastards. Unless they have Berserkers, then you surge. Yeah, but you can surge out of a transport, just not destroyed one. Correct? Correct. Okay. Do Legion of the Damned like me. I'm very strongly considering a custom Space Marine chapter. Because what I wanted to do was I wanted to do these little cheeky chaps. I wanted to do Imperial Knights. That's what I wanted to do. But they're currently busted as shit. And I don't really want to make a busted as shit army at the moment. I bought a bunch of Imperial Knights before I saw the 10th rules for them. We got the indexes through. I even built the frame for this guy, but not the arms. Okay. We then got the indexes through. I read the indexes. I was like, well, I guess I'm building a Castellan and not a Valiant, because Valiants are broke as shit. So I built the Castellan version. Then I played Knights and against Knights a few times in sort of playtesting. I was like, we can't use these. We can't, like, it's impossible. They're so fucking good. I can't, like, finally excited for Imperial Knights to be good again. Finally excited for them to be playable. They went from absolute trash and they went all the way over to turbo broken. And I was like, you bastards. I thought finally I'd get to use them. Finally I'd get to play Imperial Knights. Negative, Goat Herder. So I thought I'd just do a custom Space Marine chapter. But I can't. I'm thinking about it. I keep thinking about it, chat. I'm not sure. Play them as Chaos? Nah. I don't want Chaos Knights. I want normal Knights. Jimalam. Knights makes a sad J. Yeah. I mean, I guess it does mean that whenever Joe does his bullshit, I could just pull Knights out on him, I guess. Knights versus Eldar. We did that on Titans on the Thursday, not last week, week before. We did Knights versus Eldar on the channel. Me and Bridger, we showcased how crazy it is right now. By the time you painted them, yeah, I'm hoping that Brew West Rooster Pool. By the time I've painted them, they would have nerfed them and brought them back up again. Go for it. I'm hoping that's the case. And so I sat here. Honestly, I didn't build the Armiger until, Christ, what day are we on? We're on Monday. I built the Armiger on Saturday, I think. And I honestly sat there all morning. I sat all morning there. Like, I want to hobby, but I really don't want to do my Knights. But I want to do my hobby. And I sat there for ages until I got genuinely annoyed with myself. And after getting annoyed with myself, I was like, right, okay. I'm just going to get on with it. I'm just going to build my Armiger. And I kind of applied your logic where, like, Paul, I feel like hopefully by the time I've built my Knight Army, considering how long it takes me to do any hobby whatsoever, right? Hopefully by the time I've built it, they would have fixed all the problems that currently exists, right? So that's, that's what I'm hoping. Vex, thank you so much for becoming a member at Jarl tier. You hero. We'll start the giveaway probably next week for Jarls and above. Anybody who's been gifted a membership tonight, anybody who is at Skull tier right now, if you upgrade to Jarl, for just £4 extra a month, you can upgrade to Jarl. And once a month, we launch a Jarls only giveaway in Discord. You just click a button. You just automatically enter yourself into the giveaway just by clicking that button. And you have to be a Jarl tier or above. At the end of a defined period, typically around, 2 weeks, it draws a winner at random out of everybody who clicked the button, everybody who's Jarl tier or above. And that gets you a combat patrol box of your choice if you are the winner of said giveaway, okay? Equally, you can go even harder. You can go Huskar tier, and we start to post behind the scenes pictures, and then you go up to Thane tier, like a lot of people apparently they seem to enjoy, and come and join us in the Only Thanes WhatsApp chat, which is a WhatsApp chat for all the coolest kids in town, okay? All of the coolest kids in town are in the WhatsApp chat. All the biggest dicks, in fact. All the biggest dicks are in the WhatsApp chat. Meg says, going to go edit. Thank you, Liam, and everyone. You're all amazing human beings. You can't go yet, Meg. We haven't hit 1,000. That's the rules. Although we've got half an hour to go. I don't feel like we're going to hit 1,000 right now. We got you to 961. Okay, we tried. I suffered through 8th and half of 9th playing Necrons. I picked up Knights for the new codex in 9th. Now no one wants to play you, yeah, I'm sure. Necrons are okay now, right? How about I give pure Harlequins before the Nerve Hammer falls? Because I think Fate Dice work fine with pure Harlequins. Fate Dice do work okay for pure Harlequins. They're about the only thing that makes them work. When Fate Dice get nerfed, Harlequins are going to really struggle. I'm in a small club that's only been open 3 months. We had a Combat Patrol night. Necrons slap now. They do. Absolutely do. 100%. I've never got on with cool kids. Defo not for me, says Pip. I mean, they're all Warhammer players, Pip. Take from that what you will. I'm not cool enough for Thane tier. Here you are. Everyone is. I painted up and based my Chaos Knights over the last 2 months with small hobby times. Now they're tabletop ready and played again this weekend. Now I'm doing details. That sounds amazing, Paul. Sounds also. Soups, thank you for the 5. Is that because I sang to you? Was that what it was worth? Just the 5. Necrons are hard to shift. Necrons are good right now. I wish I could do a member for every sub you've just gotten us. That will have to do. That's fine, mate. Don't you worry. Thank you for the 5 gifted Soups. You're amazing. Don't you worry, mate. You're amazing. I need to change my thingy now. Need to change my thingy. Boom. Thank you, Soups. You beautiful, beautiful human. So on the whole, we haven't really dug into this in much depth as a collective chat. What are we thinking about this particular tournament guide? I guess we'll call it the tournament companion. Are we pro this approach by GW? Are we anti this approach by GW? Would we want more guidance, or do we think we needed less guidance? I think the guidance is perfect, especially considering they just keep telling us it's just guidance. So I think that's what we. I think they probably. I don't like the fact they've already changed the rules for objectives. I don't like the fact that they've already changed the primary mission, although I understand why. I feel like this is, for me at least, with the exception of those two little tweaks, kind of perfect. Hey, we're not massively changing the game. We're not introducing tons of extra secondaries. We're not introducing tons of changed rules. We're not introducing different ways that reserves work. We're just saying, you use the mission pack. These are the way you should put the missions together. Here's the terrain layouts. Don't be a dick. I feel like it's just right. I'm being positive about it. Like I said, I don't like the objective change already from the core book. I don't feel like they needed the core book objectives to be impassable. But I feel like they've done just right with this. I feel like this is a good release for a document. I love you too, Soups. Dr. Goblin, welcome to Jarl tier. Thank you for becoming a Jarl, you hero. What a legend. Ben, thank you for the 350. I've just built my Atropos. It's so effing cool. I want some of the Forge World ones, but then I saw them announce them doing them all in plastic, and that makes me significantly more happy. I don't like the card changes, etc. I don't like the card changes only because it opens up. So this is my problem, right? When we're tweaking cards and stuff, the reason why I don't like the card changes because it opens up for mistakes and issues. Like, we can get to a point where players can come to the table and say, okay, we're playing. Hang on, what's the name of the mission? Let me get this right factually. So players can come to the table and they can say, okay, so we're playing Deploy Servo Skulls. So one of the missions that Games Workshop has suggested, for example, if we go down, is, let's have a look. Mission D is Deploy Servo Skulls, Chilling Rain, and Search and Destroy, okay? Now I'm going to look at that and go, okay, so Search and Destroy is this particular deployment. I think it's table courses, if I remember rightly. Okay, Chilling Rain is no mission objectives, Deploy Servo Skulls. I'll grab my Deploy Servo Skull, I'll read it, we'll play the mission, okay? That's fine, but then I've just potentially played the mission wrong because I haven't used the one that's in the tournament guide. Because I've grabbed my card that they provided me and I've played that particular mission. Arguably, they should have just left Deploy Servo Skulls out if that's the case. Left that as a fun mission. I feel like that would have been probably the way to go. So the card changes I'm slightly irritated by because if people are using their cards, same as the secondaries, right? You're going to have to remember that in the tournament companion, Deploy Teleport Homers and Behind Enemy Lines have both changed as objectives. You're going to have to remember that. Or you're going to scribble on your cards. Those things and the objective marker are the only things I'm kind of anti. Giving us preset missions with certain like secondaries, etc. is fine. Mission rules, etc. is fine. Giving us terrain layouts is great. Great advice for people to balance terrain on the tabletop. But changing cards is a bit silly. because it could lead to mistakes. It could lead to issues and errors. Will, thank you for the 2. Doing Krieg this time. Rule of cool. Sod winning. Sounds amazing. Sounds incredible. WoW Lord Nerd says, Pro, any guidance for a tournament setting is wonderful. The number of developers that just don't have rules for a tournament setting is outstanding. It's astounding, sorry. Yeah, no, I agree. Make a chapter that has access to everything Imperial, a Night House, a standing Imperial Guard, garrison, a Space Marine chapter, their own Inquisitors and their own Assassins. That sounds amazing. Dali, is that right? Have I said that right? Scribble on the thing, Chaos. Yeah, but then when you want to play normal, Matt, do you just play the new version or do you play the old version? This is the thing I hate about them releasing physical product like data cards and then errataing them straight away. Like, it's just instantly nerfed. So why would people buy the cards? It doesn't make sense. A lot of these little tweaks as well. Like, play test your fucking game. So when you sell people shit, you don't invalidate it within a week of it being out. The tournament guidance is what they've done is spot on. But what they've clearly done, and this is another thing that I really hate about it, it's the dishonesty, right? Stop trying to mask this under, oh, we have to make this tweak just for competitive play. Realise you fucked up with the wording, and just tell us that's the case. And just flat errata the card. That's what I think they should do.
Lee Ewan, glad to see you're home safe. I was hoping for more terrain guidance in the tournament pack, i.e. all ground floor windows are closed for loss. Protect my Drukari melee as much as possible.
Isn't that in there? Isn't that in there? The following layouts primarily use the Ruins terrain feature. This effectively achieves a good amount of line of sight blockage and cover appropriate for balanced games thanks to the natural abstraction of line of sight within the rules for Ruins. Remember that a variety of terrain heights not only adds to the immersive nature of the battlefield, it's also important for line of sight and rules such as plunging fire. For organisers and players with a more robust terrain collection, especially elements that block true line of sight, incorporating features such as wood barricades and hills into your chosen layouts is perfectly acceptable. Okay. Do they not tell us that it's all line of sight blocking? I feel like they should. I feel like that's definitely a thing they should tell us to do, but they don't seem to, actually. I mean, my advice would always be at a tournament setting that minimum bottom level blocks, if not both. Especially with the current Knights towering. Like, I feel like both should block. I'm surprised they don't actually clarify that. Objective markers to terrain layouts, no fixed measurements. In general, however, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they actually don't, do they? They don't tell us that it completely blocks. That's surprising. Recommend structuring your mission in order to facilitate any changes to terrain layouts you need to make during your event. Okay, that's interesting. I'm surprised. I actually genuinely thought there was going to be some guidance in there about making sure it blocks. So typically most places block bottom floor, right? I would, at the moment with towering being a thing, I would say all levels block line of sight. That's what I would do, if I'm honest with you. Day one patches are annoying, but at best we would have changes 1 month in. Yeah, protect all melee armies. I want a challenge with murdering melee armies from afar. Stop the whale song, Liam. Honestly, chat. Pack it in, okay? Pack it in. Thank you so much anyway, Indy, for the 10. You're a hero. Don't forget, people, you know, we announced on Friday that we are an ambassador of Models for Heroes now. 10% of our Super Chat revenue after all of the fees and cuts and taxes, etc., just goes direct to Models for Heroes. We donate 10% of that profit to that charity. We'll total it all up at the end of the year. We'll give them a big donation, and you can all pat yourselves on the back for the amount of money you've super chatted throughout the year, or cry and not do it the same next week, right? Blah 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 is universal. Yeah, it is actually. Just buy epic models, put them on 40k bases. That stops line of sight issues. Daryl, you're right. See, I read that it's just Daryl. I get it, right? It's a Welsh way of spelling. That's amazing. Thrain, thank you for the 5. Hey, what factions do you play, and what colour scheme are you going to do for your Imperial Stompies? No idea about the colour scheme for the Stompies. I play World Eaters. I mean, I play loads. I played World Eaters, Eldar, Valhallans, Votan, Chaos Demons, amongst other things. There's probably more that I'm forgetting. Harlequins. I'll play anything, really, though. That's the thing. I don't have a problem putting anything on the table, quite honestly. Always kind of confused me. If we block all the windows, then even if you're in it, you can't see out. Yeah, fuck them, Matt. Fuck them. They can't see out either. They have to be careful if they nerf towering too much. It will just turn knights into getting shot and not being able to reach it. Yeah, I mean, there is a balance to be struck here, absolutely. Don't buildings obscure targets the other side of them unless you're right up against them anyway. So you can only shoot and be shot if you're standing by a window. Yes. No, not strictly true. If you're in the ruin, you can be seen. As long as there's true line of sight currently. I actually think the new GW layouts deal with towering fine. The new layouts are interesting, Pip. From a narrative perspective, they seem a bit dull. Oh, AdMech. Yeah, AdMech's a cool one. From a narrative perspective, they seem a bit dull, of course, but that's competitive terrain. That's not on GW. That's just competitive terrain in general. However, the layouts they've offered us have given us decent firing lanes as well as decent protection. There's lots of line of sight blocking kind of there as well. Lots of breaking it up. They're not terrible layouts, to be honest with you. When you bring in the Corn Demons back for a stream, yeah, we can do that. That's something we can do at some point soon. I have no idea how Pure Demons will play right now, actually. I have no idea. Which one of those needs a character? I don't know, Thrain. I don't fucking know. I'm not sure. I'll think of something. True line of sight is the root of so many issues. Simple would be, does a line from your base to the opponent's base cross the base of terrain piece? Yeah, well, it's kind of what we do at my events, to be honest with you, Danny, if I'm honest. It keeps it simpler and easier. Many armies can be in ruins behind a wall with windows closed and threaten an objective. If the windows are open, they have to be out of the footprint, so the threat range is less. Yes, you are correct. Art of War seem to think 3 Lord of Skulls is a good list. How many do you have? I have 1 unbuilt, Pip. 1 unbuilt. They're towering, aren't they? So they probably are not that bad. I hope indirect changes. How would you see indirect change, Mr. DeRuss? How would you see it change? I see. That was to stop towing in, wasn't it? It was, yeah. Yeah, you can't tow into terrain anymore, basically. The terrain layouts make no thematic sense. It's just generic terrain plunked there. I mean, Alpha the Wolf, you're 100% right, but they're not going for thematic. They're going for tournament. So it just needs to be functional for a tournament. It doesn't need to necessarily... The only way you're going to make it look kind of themed at this point is by having it kind of all the same style, all weathered similarly, on the same battle mat, etc. It's kind of the only way you're really going to do it, right? I don't feel like you're going to, otherwise, for a tournament, be able to see some of the terrain layouts that, for example, Joe puts together. And even then he increases, he sort of looks at it so that there's a degree of balance for the game for you guys as well, right? Do you think Custodians will also get nerfed? They aren't strong as Eldar or Knights, but seem to be doing well. And how can AdMech get a bump up? So Custodians are an interesting one. I think they're very good right now. They play the mission okay. A lot of the tournament results that I'm seeing out there right now don't typically see Custodians walking away with things. The armies that are winning them are Eldar and Knights, typically. Will they get a nerf? Maybe slightly. They might tweak the points. For example, at the moment, you're seeing a ton of Custodian Guard, except you're seeing no bikes, really. So you might see that bikes come down in points slightly. You might see that Guard go up in points slightly. So perhaps you'll see a points adjustment, I guess. But I don't think they're too broken right now. They're not a problem child at the moment, at least, anyway. Problem childs at the moment, at least, are Eldar, Knights, possibly even Thousand Sons, okay? The other problem child, as you've also picked up on, are AdMech and Death Guard. How they fix them, I don't know, if I'm honest with you. Death Guard is not too hard. I feel like Death Guard, you could apply an additional rule called Disgustingly Resilient. You could add in something that gives them, I don't know, -1 damage or 5 up for no pain or something like that, to give them that survivability. And I feel like they wouldn't be so bad then. AdMech, though, are, in my opinion, completely balked. And I don't think that I know a way that I could easily fix them. I said when I did my video last Wednesday, the 5 things I would do to fix 10th edition, one of the points that I said that I would do would be to just basically rewrite Death Guard and AdMech. And I don't see another option right now. There's got to be. I mean, they have rules writers that are logically better than me at doing this thing, so they should have a way that they can fix it. I just don't know what I would do. I feel like indirect fire needs to be exclusive with any other abilities. No positive modifiers, no strats, no rerolls, just firing raw using numbers on your data sheet. I wouldn't actually be against that. Thousand Suns aren't close to a problem. 48% win rate from the limited tournaments, and they get worse as people update their lists to 10th edition versions. Interesting. I feel like Thousand Suns are very strong right now. T-shirt Cannon Marines have a problem other than indirect as well. They can advance and shoot and just level whatever is in front of them with the buffs. The indirect has just added broken bonus. Oh, T-shirt Marines are mental. Hey, here's a new kit that looks awful. How do we sell more? You fix DG by changing their contagion to +1 a wound and change lethal hits to sustained on all their guns. I'm not against that, Kira. I think they're reasonable changes actually at the moment. They are strong, but not a problem. Okay, that's cool. I'll take it. I looked at some of the stuff they could do in combinations, although some of it I got wrong, to be fair. So some of it isn't necessarily a true reflection because I read the rule slightly wrong. And I thought, wow, they can do some crazy shit. Maybe change tainted objectives so they stay tainted even when flipped. That'd be interesting. Do they not? Push Death Guard and add mech codexes first. Give them access to more stuff that helps. Death Guard fix return to inexorable advance, and the debuff becomes +1 to wound. I think both, again, losing inexorable advance kills them right now. Because you hit a fucking Blight-led Terminator unit with a barb gaunt, and they're moving 2 inches. That's madness. Do you think they might bump up DG and add mech codex releases whatever schedule they have? No, honestly, I don't think they will. I think they're half oblivious to it. Hopefully by now there's been enough noise that they're aware, but I think they're half oblivious to it, to be honest with you. What makes Thousand Suns so strong? A bunch of the combinations that they can do. I mean, Magnus, I feel like is an auto take at the moment, as well as Aramans. We're talking a bit of a point sink as well. But you wrap some of those combinations together with Kabbalistic rituals and some of the stratagems that they have. They're resource intensive, but that means you can level almost anything. Love the show. Can you stand on objectives now? Yes, you can in the tournament compendium. Not the tournament compendium, in the tournament pack. The what do they call it? The companion. Thank you. The tournament companion. You can now stand on objectives. So on the channel, what we're going to do now is we're going to play it that you can always stand on objectives all the time. It just makes more sense. So we're going to do that. Okay. Right. Hobby Collab. Let's look at Hobby Collab again. Ready, chat. 965. We are 35 people away from me giving away 20 red dice, and the red dice are completely sold out, and the black dice are almost sold out, and the white dice are now starting to shift as well. We never buy enough. I never think we're going to sell them all. The problem with Death Guard is the data sheets are boring and bad, not just bad. They are pretty. They don't have a lot of flavour, do they? I'm happy with my indirect, and I'll still use it. I mean, you might as well. Once you got your hands on the tools, use them. Got the itchiest nose, and I can't scratch it on stream without looking like I'm a fucking coke addict, which obviously I'm not. Thank you so much, Danny, for the 2. In my opinion, tons of terrain makes for a better game. I mean, it does. There is circumstances though where it can create issues. So I like a lot of terrain. I like terrain heavy boards. But if you're going to be running tanks or knights or things like that, terrain heavy can cause you a problem. As long as you can always move your models around, I feel like it's not that much of a problem. If you get to a point, however, where you can't move certain models, we do this at our tournaments, right? We always say, hey, look, we have these terrain layouts that we've built, and we've tried to build them with things like Imperial Knights in mind. However, if you rock up with something like a Shadow Sword or even a Warhound Titan, and you look at the table and you tell us, hey, I can't deploy my model, let alone walk it around the table, how do we resolve this? We're going to come up with a way, we are going to come up with a way that you can use your model on our table so you can play. Whether that means adjusting the terrain, whether that means house ruling something so that Warhound Titans can just walk over terrain, whatever it might be, we are going to come up with a way that you can play with your model because I want you to have fun. So terrain heavy works 100% and I like it, and it can be really thematic and look super cool. But I feel like we have to also make sure that both people can actually play with their armies, okay, and play with their models. They allow standing on objectives because they were selling the objective mats, and that makes them a little pointless if you can't stand on them. Interesting. Need more likes. Maybe a few. Just a few more, if you want to. A lot of people listened, by the way. 325 people. I said if everyone gifted a membership, a lot of people did that. Thank you, people. You're amazing. You're amazing. where are we? Indirect plus Overwatch is ridiculous. We could probably look at changing Overwatch first. D-cannon plus Overwatch plus indirect equals everything dead. I feel like Overwatch would need true line of sight is one of the things I would instantly do. Overwatch without line of sight, to me personally, doesn't make any sense at all from a narrative perspective, nor does it make sense actually from a game mechanic either. Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So indirect as a mechanic, not indirect as a mechanic, sorry, Overwatch as a mechanic, I believe should require true line of sight to be able to fire Overwatch. That's what I think should happen. And that way, part of the D-cannon problem instantly goes away. Okay? Hey, the Marching On podcast waves. Jeremy gifts a membership. Marching On podcast gets a membership. Look at that. Thank you for the gift to Jeremy. You're a legend. I love you. Jeremy has been on so many streams and so many comments. It's amazing. What a legend. I love you, sir. Thank you for the gifted. We need terrain that you can remove parts of when large models move past and put it back when they pass, maybe. I like the idea. This is never going to happen, chat. I like the idea of things like destructible terrain. One of the things I used to love about games like Battlefield on the PC. Destructible terrain. All about that life. Overwatch should be true line of sight. The target not getting cover. It's an opportunity shot at someone out in the open. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, absolutely. 225 points seems steep for a Redemptive Dreadnought. Dreadnoughts, Redemptive specifically, in my eyes, are currently dead right now because the points are so high. Indirect only allowed to Overwatch on a unit charging them. The only valid indirect fire is punching someone with your eyes closed, says Danny Smith. Indirect only allowed on a unit charge. I kind of like the narrative of indirect. I kind of like the narrative of Overwatch for being able to hit units that are moving in the open, but I just don't feel like indirect would ever be able to fire Overwatch. Overwatch is I see something move in front of me, or I see something coming at me, and I pull a snapshot at you. That's why it's on 6s, because that's the whole point in Overwatch. Okay, our super chat's working. Yes, why? Did yours not come through? Oh no, I've got it in front of me. Don't you worry. And so if you consider the narrative behind what Overwatch actually is, right, it really shouldn't ever be in a position where I can't see you. You finished a move. Gonna randomly fire over in this direction just on the off chance you're there. Jessica, thank you for the gifted 95 Ginger Rage. Thank you for the 10 Canadian. I often forget that 10 Canadian is worth less than 10 American. So 10 American she'll read it out, 10 Canadian she won't. She doesn't like Canadian money for some reason. But thank you so much anyway. You're a hero. Do you think how the points are now will make it hard to balance armies by point adjustments? Seems any point adjustments means the death of the unit without individual weapons or gear attacks. Yes. Yeah, I 100% think, without doubt, that the changing to points is going to hurt them down the line. Okay? 100% think it's going to hurt them down the line. I absolutely believe that by not having points for things like... Let's take a Razorback, okay? Who is going to take a twin heavy bolter Razorback over a twin lascannon Razorback nowadays? I suspect probably nearly no one. The twin lascannon Razorback is just flat better, but they cost the same points now. So there is no incentive to take the lower one, the shitter one, the worst one. No incentive whatsoever. So they've made it significantly more difficult to balance the game in general by removing individual points costs for things like war gear. Or even, and I also think that for 40k players, list building is fundamentally part of 40k. Right? I think this is my belief anyway. Perhaps you guys disagree with me, right? But list building and theory building lists is 100% fundamentally part of 40k for me personally. And I don't know a single 40k player that doesn't try their hardest to hit 2,000 points every time. And so I have no problems with having it at 13 points per Space Marine rather than 130 points for 10, and that's it. I don't feel like that's a problem. So if I have 15 points left, I can add one more Space Marine to my 5-man squad to make it a 6-man squad, and I've only got 2 points left. I feel much happier now about the fact that I'm at 1998 points rather than being at 1985 points. Okay. Same as if you think about war gear, etc. I'm 20 points over, I might remove that 30-point twin last cannon option and put on the twin heavy bolter option to bring me back down to the 10 points under, because I can't be over. Like I feel like we're missing that at the moment, if I'm honest with you. And I feel like there is, in my personal opinion, this is actually was going to be the topic for Wednesday's stream, if I'm honest with you. So I'm not going to go into it too deep right now. We're about to finish in 5 minutes anyway. But I feel like losing the list building part of 40k with points is actually losing a really fundamental part of 40k, in my opinion. I'm going to stop here now in terms of that particular topic, only because this was going to be my topic for Wednesday's stream. That's right, I do in fact sometimes plan streams in advance. Okay, so I'm going to pause that particular point there. We're going to talk about, has 40k lost some of its soul with a difference in points and list building? I think it has. I'm sure some people will disagree with me, but we'll see. Okay. Where are we? I do miss my theory crafting for this. I think a lot of people do. Liam, do you think Games Workshop should have kept Blood Tithe and Old Fate Miracle Dice? Seems like GW changed rules because they felt obliged to when they were okay. 100%. Fate Dice didn't need to change. Fate Dice could have stayed exactly the same, and we don't have anywhere near the problems we have right now if Fate Dice would have in fact stayed exactly the same. The Blood Tithe, interesting. I feel like, I mean, I love the Blood Tithe, and I don't understand. They hit the nail on the head. They got a great mechanic. We finally got Blood Tithe back, which was similar to what we had in Khorne Demonkin. I feel like we didn't need to change it, and then we changed it, and I don't know why we changed it. And I feel our Blood Tithe was better and more narrative. That being said, I actually don't hate the Blood God role. The Blessings of the Blood God. I don't mind that at all. Like I feel like it's still an okay rule, and I still kind of have fun with it. And I guess that the bonus I have right now with the Blood God's Tithe, whatever the fuck it's called, Blessings of the Blood God, I actually can get it up and running in the first turn now, which is quite nice. So I don't hate it, if I'm honest with you. But yeah, I kind of think Blood Tithe was fine before. And Miracle Dice, I mean, they're not too dissimilar now, right? They're about the same as well. So I'm not. It's hard. The big fumble for me was Fate Dice, but we could have. You're right. We could have kept all three, and I think probably would have been fine. Chaos Warhound at 1100 is great though. Is it actually usable though? Is it? Managed to catch nearly a whole stream. Got ahead for dinner now though. Thanks Stephen for hanging out. You're a hero. Templar Warden, lots of doom and gloom. It's not.
We're hooked to bring me back on Wednesday. Well done, sire. Well done.
That's the plan, right? That's a good creator. Is that right? Templar Warden, yeah, I don't know if we're all doing well. Like the tournament pack, for example, I think is pretty good, if I'm honest with you. But there's just, I'm sad about the points changing. Demonic Teddy, what a great name. New points would be fine if they bothered to separate loadouts into separate data sheets, but obviously that ends up being more complicated on units with a lot of options. Apart from the fact that they kind of did it in some aspects and didn't in others, like jump pack Marines and non-jump pack Marines. Odd, okay. Anyway, right, cool. We are end of the stream. Are you going to do a bonus fact, or are you too busy with dice? She's too busy with dice, chat. That's it. Soups didn't get a song. We don't get a fact, but you will get your dice at least. Anyway, right. Singing stream. I'm not singing you out. No, we're not going to do that, right? My death company appointed for 10 Inferno pistols and power weapons or hammers. Which are neither in the box nor how they are supposed to be. Awful system. I don't like the new point system, for honest with you. I think it's bad. It's one of their big cock-ups, in my personal opinion. I get what they're trying to do to make it simpler. I get it. I do. But I just think it's bad. Okay? Right. Thank you, Heskit One Eye. I think that's how we say that. Thank you for becoming a member at Skull Tier. You're a legend. I love you. I think I got Just Kenneth's gifted membership. And thank you, Nordos, for the gifted membership as well. You people are incredible. What a bunch of absolute legends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. You're amazing, right? Tomorrow there won't be a stream, okay? Because it's my youngest's birthday. So there won't be a stream tomorrow evening. However, Wednesday there will obviously be the 40k show. And Thursday, we're back in DMZ on the daytime. Me, Joe, and Warhipster. ! Gaming. Go over there, hit subscribe. You can now become a member of that channel as well. And there's multiple tiers there too, if you want to support the Call of Duty stream as well as the 40k stream. Obviously, no like pressure. You do whatever you want. You guys are amazing. We love you. You're out of red dice. That's a fact of sorts. It is a fact of sorts. We sold out in red dice in like half an hour. You people are incredible. Black and white dice are still available. Okay, so you can still buy them if you head on over to the merchandise page, which is essentially liamdempsey.store, I think. Yeah, liamdempsey.store. There you go. Easy. Right, so you can still go over and buy black and white dice. Thank you to everybody who's bought red ones already. You people are incredible. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you to everybody who gifted a membership or became a member of their own accord. You guys are amazing. You mean the world to us. Thank you so much. It's so important. Thank you to everybody who super chatted. 10% is gifted to Models for Heroes. So thank you for that. Donated to charity after all of the fees, etc. You people are incredible. So I'm looking forward to speaking to you again on Wednesday. I'm sorry I'm missing tomorrow, but it is my youngest's birthday. So happy birthday, Mini Liam. That's it from us here tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.